you characterize such crimes as only coming from immigrant communities, only coming from refugees, and this sort of notion of incompatibility with these values. All you're actually doing is ostracizing these people and creating the discontent towards the West that you say is endemic to these countries, but is actually probably something that you are inflaming.
First of all, you know, we only have an hour. I will assume any question denouncing me has met with wide approval, and we can cut down on the applause. Point one, this is a lie that the media keeps spreading, that Trump said he commits, that he grabs women's P words. He was talking about celebrity culture. He said, when you are a celebrity, they let you do it. They could win that case in summary judgment in court. They let you do it. So to be, I mean, making a comment, it's quite clearly true. Some portion of women are willing to do a lot of things for money, to be with a celebrity, to get on Fox News. The Brock.
He's saying that about women. Like you are defending you're defending these feminist values of like American. You're getting up there and being like, yeah, you know, loads of women will do this. I'll sell it.
No, I think I got the question. Okay, I'm sorry, I'm not that offended. Okay, he was coarse, but he didn't say he does this. He happens to be, I mean, he's the kind of person who brags about things he didn't do. That's a different kind of idiot. And I think that's what we're talking about. And I don't think the feminists are particularly offended that he used the P word. Otherwise, they wouldn't be marching around with those hats. Whoa, you must be really offended. I wouldn't behave in such a coarse way. I think the most shocking thing about that tape really didn't get any attention, was that he claimed he was hitting on a married woman. And the funniest part about it was the married woman's reaction was, you were hitting on me? Furniture shopping is an aphrodisiac? You gotta get your game up. I mean, that I thought was somewhat more offensive, except it was so innocuous. The woman didn't even know she was hitting on him. Okay, yeah, there was one weird case, that Brock case that was covered like the 9/11 attack. One drunk guy with a drunk woman. There were more cases of white men being falsely accused. Duke Lacrosse, UVA, Ferguson. Mattress girl at Columbia, the girl that walks around with a mattress on her back, and then he finally releases the emails he sent to her. No, white men on college campuses are far more falsely accused than guilty. But what we're talking about is not the numbers. We're talking about bringing in people we don't already have living in our country. Okay. I'm all for locking up our own criminals. Again, I'd love to deport them. I'd love to send them to you if you love them so much. I'd love to, but we can't. They're already our citizens. Why would any country bring in criminals we don't already have? We're full on criminals. We got them. And as for having other cultures hate us, fine. Go ahead, hate us. I want you to hate us in your own country.
I can see a question just at the front. Yeah, here, in the orange scarf. Yeah.
Hello. I was quite interested, as you were giving your speech, you said, you thought the Republican establishment and the Koch brothers are on your side, but it turns out they just want the cheap labor, and Bernie Sanders was right. And then you're now very disappointed in the president because he said all these things that you wanted him to do, and he also has turned out possibly to be not what you had wanted. So on some sort of quite big things, the political things, you've turned out to be quite wrong. And
no, really, I didn't support the Koch brothers. I was just surprised.
The Republican establishment that I quote you to say I thought they were on my side and they're not, and my party has left me because they're fake, whatever. My point just being that you have just said that on these two things you're quite wrong.
No, I have not.
And you
can keep describing that as saying I'm quite wrong. Look, I'm the weatherman. I'm going to tell you how the weather is. If it's raining, it's raining. If it's sunny, it's sunny.
That's not particularly useful.
Koch brothers did support stuff I supported. Now they don't.
But my point being that can you then convincingly defend your own judgment based on that? Because you have now supported people.
Yes, but not on your mischaracterization. Yes, of course I can. I will absolutely 100% would do the exact same thing with Donald Trump. I would write in Trump We Trust. I think I explained that in my speech, but I will go on and explain it even more.
Definition of insanity, isn't it?
Okay,
doing the same thing
do we
over and
have the
over
question
again?
done yet? Because the mumbling as I'm talking is going to get very distracting. No, of course. He was the only choice we had. We'd been waiting. There was no one else even offering it to us. Of course people knew. Yeah, maybe he's not reliable. Maybe he won't do it, but he's the only game in town. I would write the same book. I would introduce him at rallies. I mean, like I say, the upside is, and for any politician who wants to take those issues, now we know these are the popular issues. But it's, I mean, every other election has been, I don't know, why do people vote Republican? Because they're not Democrats. And why do Democrats vote Republican or Democrat? Because they're not Republicans. But Americans haven't been able to vote on the things they wanted to vote on. You get lip service on immigration. You get lip service on bringing jobs back. When you have 16 absolute lunatics, 17 if we throw in Hillary and Bernie Sanders completely flipping as soon as he runs for president as a Democrat. He was better as a socialist than a Democrat. He was for gun rights. He was against open borders. Suddenly he runs as a Democrat and that he forgets about the laws of supply and demand. Oh no, I guess dumping millions and millions of low-wage people on America won't hurt other low-wage workers. But no, of course, I do the same thing. We see how things turn out.
And it's gone up right straight at the front over there.
Hi, Ann. I've seen or heard you a lot on the Howie Carr show, and I just had a quick question about, we've seen numerous instances of heinous yet preventable crimes committed by illegal aliens, and I think that could stem from a cultural difference between America and third world countries. What do you believe specifically makes third world countries incompatible with American values?
No, that's a really wonderful question. I thank you for asking that. I cover it in Adios America. America is very unique along with our mother country. And this comes out in a lot of defense lawyers' statements. One guy defending, it's in the book, defending a couple of Iraqis for raping 2 little girls. And he said, look, in other parts of the world, there isn't as much respect for women and children. America is unique in the world. The defense lawyer is saying this. There was a judge in New York, I forget his name right now, but a Chinese man had killed his wife with a claw hammer because she had committed adultery on him. Their son came home. He just greets the son at the door saying, you know, hi, son, just killed mom. He's covered with blood. And the judge gave him probation, saying that in Chinese culture, it would be so humiliating for a man to be cuckolded. We have to understand their culture. There was, I'll just give you one more, a Rocky and a Mexican woman married. They had a child. This was out in Illinois. This actually showed up on one of my favorite crime shows, Forensic Files. Luckily, the Iraqi man was under suspicion for terrorism, so the FBI had been wiretapping his house. Their daughter started to date a black kid at school. They were so angry at her for dishonoring the family by dating a black kid, they killed her. And it was all on tape. So the quotes from the jury were pretty, and the prosecutor, they all said, I've never heard anything like this. I'll never get this out of my head. And the mother's holding her down as the father is saying, you'll die tonight. And he's stabbing her to death. And the defense that was made, with lots of college professors showing up, and the Iraqi community all telling newspapers, no, you have to understand, this was very humiliating for the family. You have to understand, in our culture, and, you know, we've just gotten kind of used to, we can spread our values around the world without destroying our own values. Anglo-Saxon values toward women and children and the elderly, And the weakest members of society are, as all of these lawyers I've just cited, unique in the world. Yes, we can assimilate people. We do a great job assimilating people. But there's a reason the main, anti-immigration group in the U.S. is called Numbers USA. You can't do it when you're bringing in this many people and they're living in the same neighborhoods and the street signs are changed to their languages and their customs. There was an official in the Clinton administration who said, we've passed the time where immigrants have to assimilate to our values. It's about time we assimilate to their values. So, I just want to give a warning to, my fellow American women, and I guess British women, you have no idea how good you have it. And it's going to change if we, at least in my country, it's been going on a long time. We just need a break. We just need a pause. We'll pick up the immigration again after that, but we need to take some time to assimilate the ones already here. Or there.
So just before we move on to the next question, I think we can all agree that the crimes that you just described are absolutely disgusting. But at the end of the day, it's not just immigrants who are committing these crimes. People who have lived in America for hundreds of years
can't afford